Namaste and welcome back to Google Ads. In the last video, we installed and configured advanced cluster management and successfully simulated bare metal using VMs. In today's video, we are going to take things a step further. I will show you how to deploy a single node OpenShift SNO cluster using a static IP. Last time, we were using DSCP. We will walk through how to define the static network settings in the cluster instance YAML, how ACM uses template to generate NMState config, and how the entire provisioning process works behind the scenes. I'm going to follow this medium guide to complete this video. So in this guide, I've mentioned how to create a bare metal kind of scenario. I'm using this bird install to create a virtual machines and expose as a SUSI tool. And then we have to update the DNS entry. We have to add this 2 new record set for this one, and then restart that. And then finally, we have to create the namespace, secrets, and then pull secret as well. And then we're going to use this cluster instance, and these particular sections control that static behavior. So workflow looks like this. Cluster instance is applied. Once you apply that, ACM SiteConfig operator use the specified template mentioned as a part of that cluster instance. Template extends into Kubernetes native resources like bare metal host and NMState config. And the assisted installer leverage those resources to configure and provision the node. That's how it works. All right, so let's get it started. This is where my first KVM is running. There is nothing right now. There's like 3 machines, which is a hub clusters, which is mentioned in my previous video as well. So we're going to create this. Let's export that variable. Let's paste that value here. I'm going to hardcode this MAC address and then UID as well, so that we'll have predictable BMC address later. Let's create a hard drive. Let's paste this value here. This is creating a 200 gigabyte drive in this particular location. In your bare metal scenario, you don't have to do it. You are basically attaching the physical volume there. And let's create a machine. We'll not load any ISO image. We're simply going to create the machine. And this is now available. And here, this is running as this is created, but it's sort of right now. You can also see this behavior here. Okay. Next, we have to create a DNS entry so that our hub cluster can talk to that single node. We're going to add these 2 more entries in existing DNS servers. Let's go to that vim var name d and search for bulky olcp.local.zone, and let's add that into there. So here api.ai SNO cluster 002 is pointed to 192.168.7.11, and the asterisk, which is a English rule, pointed to again same IP address because it's a single node. If you have multiple nodes, then this is API VIP and English VIP there. Let's save it. Let's restart named. Everything looks good so far. Let me test this one here. We should be able to simply do NS lookup to that address. Actually, let me do it from my machine. And this is resolving to 7.11. And then let's try this here as well. NS lookup demo dot, and it's resolving to that IP address again. So DNS is working. Now next, follow the rest part of this guide. I'm going to create a namespace. This is a hub cluster hub JTP. Let's go there, import YAML, create the namespace. Let's keep adding more and more sections there. I'm going to create the secrets. This is a bare metal host. Right now it's just the dummy secrets. And then we're going to create these full secrets as well. We have to replace these values with the actual secrets. And then let me copy these SiteConfig value as well. So here I'm going to replace this public key. Let me use my public key. Simply going to use this value. Let's replace there. And then we have to fix that secret. Then this YAML should be valid after this. All right, so I have added the secrets, updated the secrets as well. Please use your value here. Now let's walk through the most critical part of the setup, the static network configuration for our SNO clusters. Unlike DSCP, here we define everything declaratively: IP address, subnet, DNS, and default routes right inside the cluster instance. This ensures predictable and reliable networking for our node. As you can see, we have assigned a static IP 192.168.7.11 to the interface ENS1, 1S0. We have also disabled DSCPs. DSCP is false. Specified DNS servers. So these are 2 DNS servers, 192.168.7.126. That's our named servers. And then 8.8.8.8 is Google server. And we have defined a default route pointing to the gateway 192.168.4.1, and then it's pointed to MAC address as well. And this is the MAC address we created or defined during our virt install command. If you notice here, we have defined this MAC address and UUID as well. All right, so let's create all of these resources. Simply click on create, and these resources are created. Now we can navigate to our all cluster view. We are already there. Click on infrastructure clusters, and as you can see, AI SNO cluster 002 is available now. Navigate to host inventory. You can see this is already created. On that host sections, it's inspecting that. And then if you keep watching here, let me connect to virt again. This is sort of right now. It's going to take some time. It's just inspecting right now. Let's keep watching that. Now this is showing running. And if you go to this again, you'll see this process. Now we can keep watching. It will take almost like 40 minutes to complete this process. But this is already started triggering the cluster installation process for this. So the way it's working is in this node template, AI node template view 1, which is a part of our configurations. This is our AI node template. This is what it's trying to use right now. And this is what our template looks like. So as a part of this template, you can see NMState configuration. Now we can technically check that NMState configuration as well in that particular namespace. Let's get to that particular namespace. This is the one we created. And in NMState here, let's do O YAML. And as you can see, all of these values populated because of that template automatically. So we pass this information from the cluster instance template. We are overriding the existing template, which created the NMState configuration, and it's applied these configurations and assisted installer picking these configurations. Another thing we can do is to validate this configuration is to hop into this cluster or machine 192.168.7.11. So simply do SSS core. That's our default user 192.168.7.11. It's okay. Now let me try it again. All right, I'm inside that. So if you do get ADC result, then this name server and this name server coming from that cluster instance configurations. So if you notice here, we have passed that information from this configuration itself. Here, this is a DNS server, and then secondary DNS server as well. And this is searching to bulky.ocp.local, and this configuration is coming from here. All right, so let's navigate to our hub. It says insufficient, which is, I think, okay. It's just trying to resolve that. Right now it's saying NTP unreachable, which is okay. All right, so it's like internet already working inside, not a problem. We can check journal CTL log as well to keep watching what's going on there. And here, it's already started preparing, by the way. If you notice, it just changed the status. If you go to cluster view, it's already doing the installation. It's 0% right now, but we can keep watching this progress, and it will take approximately 40-45 minutes to complete this, depending on your network bandwidth as well. So for me, it's going to take 40-45 minutes at least. The host now boots with static IP, ready to join and install the OpenShift cluster seamlessly. All right, so we're almost there, 80% complete. And it's not taking a long period. I think I should be able to connect to this by downloading this kubeconfig file. So let me reach out to that. Export kubeconfig. It's on the downloads, kubeconfig 1. Also get nodes, and it's already started doing it, right? 4 minutes, 43 seconds ago, this is active. Let's see. And some of the operators, cluster operators are still not healthy, which is okay. But this is already started responding. All right, so that's a wrap up this video. We saw how to set up static networking using cluster instance in ACM, and how the template behind the scene generate the actual NMState config. We also walked through creating the VM, assigning a fixed IP, and updating DNS. So everything ready for a smooth, automated SNO installation. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you found this useful, drop a comment or share it with someone who is working with OpenShift. I will see you in the next one. Dhanyavad.